Hey, welcome back. Thanks for being with us again. So on Tuesday, we talked about storytelling and the impact that can have on us. We borrowed from a passage in Psalms that talked about God, speaking and the world coming into being, and how we very much can do the same thing, that by our words, by the way we describe our day, our week, our month, our year, our season, we can really paint the color of our lives. We can shade it with colors of sorrow and tragedy. We can see blessings and positives. And I'm not advocating for rose-colored glasses. I'm not saying whistle away the pain. I'm not saying ignore your bad days, because we have those. Our day, our week, our month, our year should be a rich tapestry of experiences. We should have our joys, our belly laughing moments, our successes. And we should have our down moments, our sorrows, our deep periods of grief and mourning, those moments where we just, wail, that our eyes hurt because we cried so deeply. And our year should look like that. We should find that we have, both of those moments. And I hope you have more joyful ones, but that isn't always the case. Not every year averages out to be being joyful. But the caution is, especially right now, as we are sitting in a kind of a heightened moment, as we are in the middle of a pandemic and our lives are disrupted, our normal mechanisms, our normal schedules, our normal days, where everything for so many of us has been kind of tossed into chaos, even as we're beginning to see glimmers of hope and some other options in front of us, it can still feel like the bad news is coming in quickly and powerfully. And we've seen that. We've seen that with multiple tragedies in our province, multiple losses of lives, the worst mass shooting in Canadian history, a number of servicewomen dying in the line of duty, a family in grief for their lost child. I mean, we are seeing these stories told and retold, and it's taking shape around us on what this year is, what this season is, what our lives are like. And if you are in deep mourning and you're experiencing this loss, I am praying for you, and I feel for you. I hope God's comfort will find you in time, and His strength will be with you for now. For the rest of us, for those who aren't directly impacted, but are weaving these events around us into a story, we risk missing the joys, the blessings that are present in our lives right now, even though it's different and it's strange. We risk missing the opportunities to see real good and real joy in the world around us, because we're telling ourselves the story that this year is bad, that this week is bad, that this day is bad. Have you ever had a moment where in an otherwise good day, a 10-second, a 20-second interaction with somebody completely ruined the day? Just took it off the rails for you. That one conversation you had with a person that they just said some snide remark that got under your skin, and they lived in your head for the rest of the day. That for the rest of an otherwise perfectly good, reasonably salvageable day, where you could have gone and made any number of choices, and engaged in any number of joys, but you lived in that conversation for the entire day. You went over your head and over it and over it and over it, and you thought of better responses and more biting things, and you're like, oh, I wish I had said that, and whatever. But you lived in that 20 seconds for the entire day. That's you storytelling. That's you storytelling your day. That's you letting a few seconds, a couple of minutes, one interaction, and you're allowing it, that one interaction, to paint your entire day, or your entire week, or your entire month, or if you're not careful, this whole year could be painted by just a handful of bad experiences. There's this passage in James. James has a lot to say about taming our tongue, about being careful about the things that we say. He has this great word picture in James chapter 3, where he talks about putting a bit in an animal's mouth and being able to move a large animal around. Or he talks about ships as an example, that mighty winds blow them, but a tiny rudder steers them. He said, this is what our tongue is like. It's a small part of our body, but it makes great boasts. He gives another example. Consider a great forest is set on fire by a small spark. The tongue is also a fire, a world of evil among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body, and it sets the whole course of one's life on fire. And James' primary concern is the fact that we can be kind of duplicitous. We can use doublespeak a lot. I mean, his big concern is that people will praise God with their mouth and then they will curse people, or that they will be honest at one point and tell lies at another. I mean, that's James's major concern, this sort of double speak. He calls the tongue like it's a spring that sometimes produces fresh water and sometimes produces salty water. And to him, it's just an anathema. He can't wrap his head around it. He hates this paradox. But you see those lines? It's the phrase that really stood out to me. That the tongue can set the whole body. It corrupts the whole body. It sets the whole course of one's life on fire. The things you say, the things you do, the story you tell can set your life on fire. It can change the whole course of your life. It can change your whole outlook of your life. Like one tiny spark, one bad conversation, too much absorbing of bad news around you, and it can set your whole life on fire. We're storytellers by nature. When God designed us and he said that we will be made in his image, this is one of the ways I think we've been made in his image, this desire to create. And we create meaning through storytelling. And right now, you might be lighting your life on fire because the story you're telling about your life is one of negatives that you see around you. And again, I'm not telling you that they're not there. They may well be. But you can light your whole life, the forest around you, the people around you, you can light them on fire with an uncontrolled story. Because perhaps, to borrow a literary term, maybe you've become an unreliable narrator. Maybe you've accidentally slipped into a point where you can't see the positives around you. And if you can't, in the middle of a difficult day, a difficult week, if you can't look around and see the care that some people are providing, the positives that may be on the horizon, if you have story told your way into such a deep pit, you may have lit your life on fire. And we would like to help. If you're listening to this, you can reach out to Pastor Aaron and I. There are people in your lives who I'm confident love you and care for you. And would like to help you take steps back from that. But don't burn down this year. Don't burn down this season. Don't burn down your life. There are absolutely going to be moments where difficult things happen. But don't let those be the moments you live in forever. Otherwise, you will miss the triumph. You'll miss the celebration. You'll miss the joy. That's it for today. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll look forward to seeing you on Sunday for our digital service. So God bless and stay safe.